name is Testimony, and I testify to the goodness of God.
Our theme this year is running to win, and the text speaks from 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 24. Do you know that in a race all runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Before we can begin to measure the success of the team so far, we must understand the basis of what the Lord intended to do in our midst this year. One thing very, very paramount that the Lord is trying to, or is showing to us, is that if we believe Him enough, we will not be docile, we will not be inactive, we will not be passive, we will be active, going for greater heights, going for something, and it is possible to achieve greater heights in life. It doesn't matter the level you are presently, you can still do better, you can still go higher. Coming from that background, as a church, I see several individuals catching up with that understanding and basics of faith, that nothing just happened. Nothing just happened. If I believe God for something better, I will get something better. If I believe God for something low, it's not God's fault, it's mine. And we have several individuals who have testimonies to show that if you can pursue this, you can get it by the grace of God. And that has been our testimony so far this year.
I would say running to win. At first, when the team first came out, I never read any meaning to it. Well, it's a normal thing that you see churches bringing up 30 teams for the year. You just key into it. Okay, let me just key into this thing. But as time goes on, I begin to read meaning to running to win. At the initial stage of the year, when the first month of the year, when Pastor said he had started reaping dividends of his own prayer points, I said, God, when will I start receiving mine? But instead, as the year went out, I begin to see things started changing for good. First and foremost, on 31st of December, when we are asked to write 7 points that what God to do for us, I wrote mine. I gave one, and I kept one. At the end of the day, I just forgot it in my Bible, physically, because for once I never believed in such, but I just participate in it, because all this while that I've been writing, I've never received any. So I just, okay, let me just fulfill righteousness and write, and just, but that just asked me to just keep it. Let's just see what will happen this year. So I kept it, and things started coming up. But when I now realize that, well, have you checked this thing to see if God has actually done anything for you? Lo and behold, when I opened, I discovered that out of the 7 I have written, that was, this thing I'm telling you is in October. I discovered that God has answered 5 of it. The one to cap everything up was my job, the job I got in November 1st. I never expected it because I was the least qualified person that was employed. I just received a call that I should report in Abuja on a Wednesday when I was preparing for a wedding. I just traveled and everything just went on smoothly. During this year too, my brother got married, and there's a particular thing we'll be asking God for several years concerning my elder brother. Lo and behold, he just came to Lagos and told me, Wale, God has done it. And I looked, is this how God works? I've never experienced God this much in my life. So it was then I now realized that, so this is what this team is all about, running to win. I want to say this, that Iyakari Baptist has been a blessing to me. Not because I worship there, but because of the things I've gained, I have received thus far. I just spent a year plus in Iyakari. My first testimony, the first testimony I've ever done in my life, that okay, I came out to this testimony was in Iyakari. That my brother, after 8 or 10 years, got a job, a federal parastatal. For the first time, I made a testimony. So it has been testimony galore ever since I joined Iyakari.
2012 has really been a great year, very, very great year for me. it has been the most challenging year. Happens to be my final year in school, and indeed the most challenging year. I can recall back, I think in September, I had an in course the following day. Then overnight my mom got sick. The following week was meant to be my exams, and it was as if God was nowhere. It was it was as if it was nowhere. So we had to rush out down to the hospital. I slept in the hospital without sleeping 1 minute, and I had an in course 9 o'clock the following morning. I didn't read. I was banking on reading in the midnight. So my whole day was just okay. I would just do my revision in the midnight. But lo and behold, my revision, I couldn't even go with a book. Was in the hospital. So to cut the whole story short, I just want to thank God. By the time I got to school, oh, very funny, that very day was also supposed to be the day where we sacrifice our rats for projects, which I was supposed to get to school 8 o'clock to go and join the other students as in my group. But I don't know how God did it. The first thing I heard was in course has been postponed till 12 o'clock. I said, yes, it's at work. I can actually do some revision. Then I just want to thank God. Well, I did it. I passed at least a B in the course. The year, then more so, she was in the hospital all through the time I was writing my exams. I happened to be the only girl at home. I have to take care of her business. I have to take care of the home, and I still have to take care of my studies. I just appreciate God because of the truth. I want to say is God. I really know it was a race that I ran and I won.
When we came into 2012, we didn't know that we issue of the petroleum subsidy and things like that. We didn't know that the Boko Haram thing will become so intense as it is. We thought by 2012 it will, but we are still seeing the issue of Boko Haram is still there, insecurity is still there, but because of the fact that one knows where it's going and we know where we are coming from, one is focused that in spite of those challenges around us, we can still achieve our essence in life. Spiritually too, it has also helped because there are so many things around us that tends to discourage, but because of messages that have come within the year, those messages God has used to strengthen us, preparing me personally ready for 2013.
This time last year, I was jobless. Praying to God, I need a job. Before the end of last year, I got the job. But in between this year, I had challenges and I needed to resign. I went to meet my boss. I explained to her, I need to travel, my visa is going to expire. I've never gone before. I need just 1 week to go and come back to the job. She refused. She said she's been giving people days off. Then she would need us around during the summertime. And then I was also preparing to start my master's. Because I wanted to do was a full-time program. So in between this struggle, my parents had to tell me to quit because of the master's and then the traveling. And they didn't like the job because I was running on a shift, so I had to go nights. I was enjoying it. I didn't want to leave. But I just prayed to God. God, I have not gotten this master's admission. What if I go and come back and I become jobless at the end of the day and I still don't get this course? What is going to happen? And then I just prayed about it. I wrote the letter because I had to tell my uncles. They told me they didn't like the job also. It was a contract job. So why should I just leave my traveling and my academics because of it? Okay, so I had to resign. I wrote the letter. People at work, all my friends were like, don't leave. But I prayed about it and I wrote the letter and then I left. I traveled, I came back. I was jobless for a month plus. The admission list didn't come out. Well, thank God, at the end of the day, I got the admission and it was for my full-time program, the course I wanted. So that is a big testimony I have for this year.
I have had a lot of challenges, but at the end of it, I glorify the Lord for the victory, for the help, for all good things that has come my way, and the whole family, the entire family of Adedokun Afolabi late. Almost 5 years now, he has left us. It has not been easy, but with his grace, we are what we are, especially me, with the challenges of health, what the world has given names like hypertension, diabetics, arthritis. People still ask, are you sure you have these things? I say no. By his grace, they are just calling the names. Although I'm taking tablets, this and that, I feel it at times, but with his grace, people don't even see it on me. Even when I'm so down, he has been my help.
For every champion, I see 2013 a year full of grace, and I encourage everyone to fully and really tap into that overflow of grace this year. Why? Because God is about doing something special, something wonderful, something that will thrill our heart, something that will cause us to say, wow, I've never seen it before. I've never seen it this way before. So because of that, whatever you expect God to do, just key into it, into this flowing grace this year. That it doesn't matter where you are coming from, it doesn't matter where you are presently or where you are going. One thing that is very outstanding that I want to register in your heart as you move into a new year is that this 2013, God is going to surprise you. God is going to enlarge you. God is going to expand you. God is going to lift you up beyond your horizon. He's going to do something extraordinarily special by His grace in your life. And I wish you wonderful and graceful New Year.
Be my drinking well. You satisfy me.